Professionally, everything was going amazingly well in your life. This was until 1983 when you had your skiing accident. Tell me about that accident.
And I found myself falling. And because it was so steep, there was nowhere to land. The last thing I remember is a scream. And I went to my room and I lay on the bed, and within a very few minutes I discovered that I was paralysed down one side. So by 1996 I was wheelchair bound.
Were you resistant in any way to use a wheelchair?
That's a really good question. And even as I talk about it, it gives me a really strange sense in my tummy, because, we take our bodies for granted, don't we? It was hard.
At that time, did you feel any anger or resentment?
It's an interesting question. I hurt first thing in the morning, I'm very stiff. And it would be so easy to think, oh, I can't get up, I can't be bothered. I could read a book. That was about it, really. I needed help to shower, I needed help to cook, I needed help to do everything else. So within 4 days I was back at school.
Why?
I could go and do something that I loved, that I was good at, that made a positive difference, or I could sit at home and think about what I couldn't do. We were on the best 100 schools in England list from HMR twice during my time as head.
In the past, you found it quite difficult to talk about being in a wheelchair and being a wheelchair user. Now you've written books on it, you're spreading the message, you're sharing your story. How did that change from not wanting to talk about it to now sharing your story?
There's been huge gifts that have come out of my disability. And the biggest gift, I think, is...
Has being a wheelchair user affected your ability to live a fulfilled life?
What I'd come to realise is my wheelchair is an enabler. That it would be so easy to go into victim mode, and the only person who would suffer in that was me. I was determined that my physicality wasn't going to get in the way. We are the authors of our own life story, or our own life play script, if you like. Why the hell wouldn't you write yourself the part of a hero rather than a victim?